Hey guys, welcome back. Pastor John here. Hopefully you got to watch our first video last week. We're going to do a video every single week, give you kind of an overview and a summary of the readings that we've been doing during the week and the study guide that we're going through. So hopefully you've been able to take part in that with us. Reading plan is available in our app or is posted on Facebook each week. And then we do have study guides that we're going through. You can get these on Amazon. Unfortunately, we're out of them, but you can pick one up on Amazon. It's called Knowing the Bible, the 10 Commandments, and we're doing that through the entire series that we're doing on the 10 Commandments for 10 weeks. So hopefully you can join along with us. But this week we've been looking at the second commandment found in Exodus 20:4 through 6. It says, "You shall not make for yourself a carved image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. You shall not bow down to them or serve them, for I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers on the children to the third and the fourth generation of those who hate me, but showing steadfast love to thousands of those who love me and keep my commandments." Now we hear about idolatry and we think, yeah, that's kind of something that used to happen, right? They used to put these statues out there or on their mantles or whatever, and they would bow to them. They would look to them for provision or for fertility or for safety or whatever the case. Yeah, it's not really a thing we do anymore. But really it is. I think we've got a limited view of idolatry. We've got a small view of idolatry, and it is still an issue for us today. And so the big idea of this second commandment is that God wants to be known and worshiped as he has revealed himself, not as we imagine him to be. And so the whole thing with these idols is that they would take kind of aspects of what they thought God was like, and that they would use those. And so we've got this idol for fertility, and this idol for safety, and this idol for this other thing. And these are aspects of who God is, but none of them can fully represent God. The only way that we know who God is what he has revealed to us in his word. And that's why we're encouraging you this year to really engage in his word, to know him as he has revealed himself. And idolatry is trying to shape God into something else, to what we think he is, to our imagination, to our hope, to our wishes, to our desires. And that's really what idolatry is, or it's putting things in the place of God and worshiping these other things, or having devotion to is maybe a better word, because worship, we don't necessarily acknowledge that we worship movie stars, or we worship money, or that, whatever the case is. But devotion, we might be able to realize that that's what's going on, right? We devote ourselves to these other things, and those things take the place of God. That's idolatry. And so there's three things I want to point out really quickly here about what this commandment emphasizes. That emphasizes God's uniqueness and his glory. Nothing in all creation can fully reflect or represent God's infinite glory in nature. Now, the word tells us that we can see God in what he has created, right? It reflects God, it shows us God, but not completely. Nothing can completely show us God other than what he has shown us in his word. And so these things are all pieces, but they can't fully show us who God is. The integrity of worship is number two. Worshiping God must be based on how he has revealed himself in his word, and not shaped by our imagination or our creativity, right? God is not what we make him to be. God is what he has made himself to be, what he says about himself. We don't get to decide who God is and what he looks like and all that. He has already shown us that. And then third, God's jealous love. Now we think of jealousy, we think of maybe a bitter or suspicious spouse or girlfriend or boyfriend or something like that. That's not what it's talking about, right? God wants intimate, deep relationship with us. He made us and he wants to have relationship with us. So when we turn to these other things for validation, for provision, for fame, for satisfaction, for whatever the case may be, when we turn to those other things, we're turning away from God, and he wants us back. He wants to have that relationship with us. He loves us. He made us for relationship with him and with each other. And so he wants that. So it's not a bitterness or a suspicious jealousy. It's a right and proper jealousy. He loves us and wants that relationship. So something to think about this week. What are you putting in place of God? A lot of times there can be bad things that we're putting in place of God. We're looking to drugs or sex or alcohol or whatever for fulfillment or for satisfaction. Or it also can be good things. There's lots of times there's good things that God has given to us for our enjoyment, for our use, that become God things as well in our lives. That's idolatry. And so what are those things in your life? And then how are you maybe imagining or shaping God to be versus seeing how he actually has revealed himself to be? Because a lot of times I think we try to make God in our image. We try to make God someone who does things the way that we would do things, the way that we want things done, the way that we think they should be done. But that's not who God is. We don't get to decide that. God has revealed himself to be who he is. And we have a tendency to try to shape that or change that and redirect that and make him into our image or into our wants or our imagination. So where are you doing that with God? Evaluate that this week. He wants us to know him as he has revealed himself. He wants us to have relationship with him and then to reflect him to those around us. So remember that this week. Love God, love others, serve generously. We'll see you next week.